And for each name, I want you to tell me as much as you know about this name. So Trayvon Martin.
Killed by George Zimmerman because he was a black male walking in the wrong neighborhood.
Michael Brown.
I'm not sure. Oh, Michael Brown was killed by the white officer.
Sandra Bland.
She was killed in a jail cell that nobody knows how she died and why she died.
Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray was the gentleman that was killed in police custody.
Tamir Rice.
No idea who that
is. Okay, so how do you feel about all the names that I've just read to you?
We're losing all our youth. In a minute, we're not going to have any black males or females the way that it's going to be our next generation.
Do you think that from 2012 to currently, has the violence increased or decreased?
Increased.
Do you think we can do anything to stop this?
No.
No.
I don't see any way that there is a way to stop it, because if it's coming by violence through our police, who's policing our police? There's nobody rectifying what they're doing, so then how is it ever going to stop?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of names, and with each name that I give you, I want you to tell me as much as you know about this person.
Okay.
So Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin, a young black man down in Florida who was out walking in the evening, then another person felt threatened, and he took it upon himself to take his life.
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown was a young man, I believe, in St. Louis or
Missouri, Ferguson.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indiana, Ferguson, right. Indiana.
He was accused of threatening a police officer, and a police officer claimed that he had to shoot and kill the young man in self-defense.
Sandra Bland?
Sandra Bland, young lady who, from Naperville, here in Illinois, was going down to her alma mater, college school, for a new beginning, start a new life, new job, driving, minding her business, pulled over for whatever reasons, and a day or two later was dead in her jail cell for whatever reason.
Freddie Gray?
Freddie Gray. I'm going to say Freddie Gray, I believe, Michigan. Was he the one that was choked?
Yes.
He was choked. I believe he was selling loose cigarettes or something.
Oh no, that was Eric
Garner.
Okay.
So between the years 2012, because there's just so many years, we're only going to start with these few, 2012 to currently, do you think the violence has increased or decreased?
Oh, definitely increased. Well, I'm not going to say increased. I think maybe this is God's way of pulling the cover off of things that have already been taking place. This has been going on for many years, but now with this being an information society, things are coming to the light quicker and more accessible, and more people are finding out what have already been taking place for years.
So do you think this can be stopped or prevented?
Yes. Yes, it can. God is able. God is able to do all things. The Bible teaches us, and I don't know if this is applicable in this interview, but scriptures say, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek his face and turn from our wicked ways, then he would hear from heaven and forgive the sins and heal the land.
I read you a list of names, and for every name I give you, I want you to tell me anything that you know about them. So we're going to start with Trayvon Martin.
Sure, he was the young man who was killed in Florida by George Martin, who is a paranoid, low-life person who doesn't really have any redeeming qualities, as we've seen from what's happened after.
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown was in, he was in St. Louis, Ferguson, St. Louis, sorry.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland was the woman in Houston, the activist who basically her family strongly believes that there was no way on earth she would have committed suicide.
And last but not least, Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray, I believe he's the one in Baltimore, Maryland? No.
Yes.
Yes, who died in police custody.
I just want to know how you feel about the police violence and if you think it has increased or decreased.
That's a very tricky question, actually. I think our awareness is much more about things that are happening. And I think the fact that we have cell phones everywhere, we're able to hold accountable brutality in any form. It's interesting, if you look at the number of gun deaths in Chicago, statistically, it's actually gone down. But that's not to say that the gun violence has gone down. So it's a very interesting statistic when you really dig into this. I think anybody is kidding themselves if they think that we are in a perfectly just and equal world. I think that people are treated unfairly because of how they are perceived externally in all sorts of ways. And I think the fact that so many snap judgments are made about people are part of the problem. I also think we have a gun problem here in America that has more to do, that's not just police issues. I mean, I think partly the way the police feel that they have to act is in a reaction to that. But if you look at other developed nations, they don't have the gun problem.
So I'm going to read you a list of names of people who were killed by gun violence. And I want you to tell me what you know about them. So the first name is Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin was, I believe, shot in the back in Florida by George Zimmerman.
And Michael Brown.
Michael Brown was shot by a police officer in Missouri, Ferguson, Missouri.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland was recent. She hung herself in a jail due to, I want to say, a busted taillight or something, a traffic violation.
And Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray was a Baltimore man who died in police custody, back of a paddy wagon.
Okay. What do you think about it? Like, how does it make you feel? Do you think it has increased or decreased?
Police brutality?
Just
or
violence,
deaths?
just violence in general.
I think now with social media being a big factor, I think there's always been violence, but now it is faster. Stories break faster, stories report faster, more people, especially with smartphones, they can videotape you. You get different sides of the story. More truths come out when there's video being published. So I would not say that violence has increased, but I will say the information has increased and how we look at every situation and how we find out more truths about what really did happen due to technology.
Guys, a list of names, and with each name I want you to tell me as much as you know about this person. So I'm going to start with Trayvon Martin.
Yes, I know Trayvon Martin. Skittles, hoodie, Arizona.
Was falsely profiled. Off of suspicion, it's really actually pretty stupid, honestly.
Yeah, it happens though in that sense, but yeah, we know about Trayvon.
How about Michael Brown?
Them too.
I know about Michael Brown. I saw the pictures too. It was suckers. They left him out there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one, but I do know he was killed by a police officer. Was that by strangulation or something?
No, you think that it's another person.
No, yeah. You think about that? Yeah. My bad.
Freddie Gray?
I've heard about, if I'm not mistaken, Freddie Gray is the man that was choked out, right?
Eric Garner.
That's Eric Garner. Freddie Gray was the one that, what, was he injured?
The spine, yes.
It's like you can't even keep up with who been killed and who haven't been killed and how they been killed. That's stupid.
Freddie Gray, he was the one that was, and they didn't show him any medical attention.
Yeah.
He just died, right? Okay. Yeah.
Sandra Bland?
Oh
yes.
Man, there is so much going on with her. Like it's
That
still
one.
going.
That one's
Like,
crazy.
it is so controversial because
That one's crazy.
I mean, like it went from she was arrested because she was just using her right to speak freely, and then I saw like on social media about them saying, well, she was dead when they took the mugshot.
Right,
I'm
like,
like,
that whole situation was crazy.
That was really bad. Like she was
all
just
over
out
a
there.
traffic stop.
She just got a job, and then like they arrested her on a routine. Just it was.
I think that's like besides a few others, that's probably one of the biggest cases or like topics put on social media. She was an inspirational person.
Tamir Rice?
I've heard, but I don't know about her.
He was 10 years old.
Is that the boy that went to the door with the Wii remote? Or no?
No. So from the years 2012 to currently, because it's gone on for so many years, we're only going to focus on those. Do you think the violence has increased or decreased?
Obviously increased.
Most definitely increased.
Especially here, like it's gotten crazier to
Not
where
even just here, it's all over. Period.
true, you can't even step out the door without having some sort of problem or having like guns pointed at you. Like literally, like I live on the south side of Chicago, so for me, like I have to walk down the street and keep my hand down, and it makes it uncomfortable for me because I feel like in my neighborhood, even though I was born on the west side, in my neighborhood I should be able to walk and be able to do whatever I was want. Really?
I mean, it's crazy because I feel like it's only gonna get worse with generations. Because I mean, like the younger generation or the generation that's about to come in, they looking at what we doing now and how things are going now, and they not doing nothing from learning from it. So it's just, I feel like it's only gonna get worse the way it is now.
And there are murders that people like aren't even on the media that still happen. Like a couple of weeks ago, like a kid my age literally got shot across the street from my house, and I live in Hyde Park. So that was just terrifying to me.
And then the bad thing about this is now it's being publicized as a good thing to have a gun. Like there's a lot of people that saying, "Oh, Chirac." That's not a good name. I can't even try to create it because it just puts so much negativity.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I don't know what Chirac.
Right. I'm from Chi-Town. I ain't from Chirac, and that's why I kind of miss being on the west side because there's a lot of south side stuff that's going on, but period in the city period, there's a lot of crap going on that shouldn't be going on.
But it's not just the south side though.
It ain't. That's where like people are putting out as headquarters for all the stuff that's going on. When true, it's just west side, south side.
So do you guys think that there's anything that can be done to prevent this in the future?
I mean,
stop being ignorant.
Like, it's sad to say, but like, what more can you really do? Like, what are you gonna do?
Because people, right? It ain't even the guns; it's the people. So I mean, what you gonna take the people away?
Right. You can't change the thought process for some people.
The only thing you can do is just keep being educated. Like, just keep.
I'm gonna read you a list of names, and you're gonna tell me what you know about them and what happened to them. So we're gonna start with Trayvon Martin.
Okay, well, I know that Trayvon Martin was a black boy, and he was killed by a white man. He was an innocent victim, so yeah.
Michael Brown.
I don't know anything about him.
Okay. Sandra Bland.
I don't know.
I know Sandra Bland. But what I saw on social media, I knew that some white man came into her car the police and started accusing her of stuff, and I know she died in the jail. Yeah.
Freddie Gray.
I don't even know who he is.
No.
I've heard of him. I've heard about him. I heard his name over the internet. I don't exactly know what happened, but I think he got murdered or something.
Okay. So just hearing those names for the people you did know, how does it make you feel about violence now? Do you think it has increased or decreased since 2012 to now?
I think it has increased since 2012 because since then it's like more killings of most innocent people.
Yeah,
I can agree on that. A lot of people are getting killed for no reason, and they don't deserve to die or anything.
yeah, that's how I feel. And they're getting killed off of assumptions and stereotypes, and not actually what they are doing.
Yeah, and police officers are actually, in my opinion, I feel like they're killing more people than actually doing what they're supposed to be doing to try and protect Chicago and the city.
Brutality is what they're doing. They're doing stuff for no reason.
So we see that our lives don't matter. They matter as much as a pebble being thrown into the river. They crash and they sink and they fall by the hands that say that they don't matter. But what they don't understand is we aren't pebbles. We aren't rocks. We aren't boulders. We are mountains. And when mountains are thrown into rivers, they overflow. We have potential. We have potential to be educated at a high level. We have potential to be CEOs. We have potential to have money like Bill and Oprah, but how can we when we're still dying? Change isn't possible unless society looks at the problem with clear eyes. But the eyes of the majority are clouded. They find that the problem isn't big as it is because they can keep living their lives the way that they're living it, but it is. Because with every lost life, there's another lost idea that can make the world amazing. But whatever, right? The world's gonna keep going on the way that it is, right?